Morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It is Thursday, which means what do we got for you? A list. And we already talked about this yesterday. It's the list of the 13 Penithl draft successors. The people who successfully got drafted from our list, 2 weeks ago, where we had all those funny names.
The all-nameless.
The all-nameless.
The all-nameless.
Yeah.
There you go.
We also have some general news stories about what's going on throughout the world, as well as some general news stories. So this is the first and only international game show, Before Coffee, a father and daughter news podcast where we look up our stories right before the show started. We just got caffeine in our bodies and we're learning to speak and read live on stream. Let's get into those Thursday 13 lists and general news and spin that segue wheel. Today on Thursday's 13, press freedom worldwide falls to its lowest level in 25 years. And Belgium wants to take over nuclear reactors. Decommissioning halted. Old reactors are opening.
Yes, and King Chucky spends an afternoon with students on an urban farm in Harlem, and Maine Governor Janet Mills suspends her Senate campaign.
SNP majority would stop Farage at the border, Swiney says when talking about Scotland. Plus, a bus sinks in the River Seine near Paris after a nightmare lesson for a trainee driver.
And Thursday's 13 today. Everybody wins the NFL draft. Your team won. My team really won because we drafted somebody from the all-name team, and we're going to update it today.
In my culture news, are you a chip stealer or fry stealer? They really do taste better from someone else's plate, a study finds.
And it's National Honesty Day, and I honestly care if you stick around for the whole show because we always have a special surprise when we forget stuff on the last day of April, April 30th, 2026 on Before Coffee.
Did you say we're the best improv show? This is not improv. I don't know how to do improv. This is not improv. I'm very serious about the news. What do you mean?
Our limericks are improv. Our haikus are improv. I just improv the headline. I didn't plan those headlines. I just
You're
read
the best
it and
improver,
then.
I'll give you the credit for that.
You don't think that's good improv? Right on, man. Hey, I give myself credit, because everybody else has done nothing in their lives. It takes all kinds of credit for just talking. So, I'm that guy. I'm that guy just like patting myself on the back. I can just spit out stuff like that. There you go. That's my talent. I'm a smart ass, and I'm
so talented.
Maybe I should be a comedian. I am all
it's never too late to start a new career. That's what they say.
I'm omnipotent. No, I'm just kidding, man. No, I'm not full of myself in any way. I am Roger the Shrubber, also for that. That's all I want to be. All right, let's spin the wheel.
He's in his farming era.
Find my glasses, man. Hey, that's right. I'm raising crops.
Okay, rolling the segue wheel. Our first segue is alliteration headline. Get ready to get alliterated.
That's not cool. Let me find the pasty. Right. Okay, that's all right.
This first story is coming out of the world from a study coming from NGO. There's a lot of different studies. Let's just talk about it. This is from Alex Malanduri on Al Jazeera. You feel alliterated? Well, hopefully we can alliterate you, Demigorge. Freedom of press around the world has fallen to its lowest level in a quarter of a century, according to the leading Paris-based Press Freedom NGO, Reporters Sans Frontières (RSF), and Reporters Without Borders. Every year, RSF publishes a World Press Freedom Index used to compare the level of freedom enjoyed by journalists and media outlets in 180 countries. This ranking system uses a 5-point scale to assess a country's level of press freedom, ranging from very serious to good. For the first time since RSF started producing the index in 2002, more than half the world's countries fall into the difficult or very serious categories for press freedom, a clear sign that journalism is increasingly criminalized worldwide. Only 7 mostly Nordic countries are ranked with good press freedom, with Norway, the Netherlands is now a Nordic country. So good to be Nordic. The Netherlands and Estonia are the top 3. Woohoo! I live in a press freedom country. Take that, losers. France ranks 25th with a satisfactory score. The bar is low, you know. The bar is quite low. France ranks 25th with a satisfactory score, while the United States ranks 64th. How's that for best country in the world? With a problematic score, falling 7 places since convicted felon Trump took office. RSF reports that Trump has turned his repeated attacks on the press and journalists into a systematic policy. Remember, he banned people out of the press room when they asked the wrong questions, citing the detention of the Salvadorian journalist Mario Guerra, who was later deported while he was documenting a protest against immigration raids, as well as suspended of several notable public media institutions. And there, in Latin America, RSF highlighted the dramatic fall of Javier Milei's Argentina, 98th, minus 11 points, and El Salvador, 143rd, which has dropped 105 places since 2014, following the launch of a war against the Maras criminal gangs. The Press Freedom NGO said that...
I see a list of 13, anyway.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, maybe for next week.
Future
the
list.
Press Freedom NGO said that Eastern Europe and Middle East are the 2 most dangerous regions in the journalists in the world, as they have been for the 25 years. So if you're a journalist, I keep fighting the fight in Eastern Europe and the Middle East, because they need you. They need you. Notably putting Russia at 172 and Iran at 177 in the bottom 10. Russia and Iran at the bottom 10. Hell yeah. That wars
North
and restrictions
on
access to information are, yeah, of course, they're probably number 1 on the top worst. It added that wars and restrictions on access to information are some of the driving factors for the decline in press freedom. It cried Israel's attacks on journalists in Gaza, the occupied West Bank, and Lebanon as example of this ranking of 116th for Israel. Since October 2023, more than 220 journalists have been killed in Gaza by Israeli army, including at least 70 who were slain while carrying out their work. Hey, a guy with a camera! Shoot him! Broadly speaking, RSF reported that the criminalization of journalism, which is rooted in circumventing press law and misusing emergency legislation and common law, is proving to be a global phenomenon. It reported that more than 60% of countries, 110 out of 180, have criminalized media workers in various ways, notably citing India, 157th, Egypt, 169th, Georgia, 135th, Turkey at 163rd, and Hong Kong at 140th. As prime examples of state-imposed crackdowns, where Hong Kong's gone through the ringer in the last 5 years. Hey, Dorina, thank you for stopping by. I hope you're having a good Thursday. Although attacks on the right to information are more diverse and sophisticated, their perpetrators are now operating in plain sight, Anne Bocanad, RSF's editorial director, said. She cited authoritarian states complicit in incompetent political powers, predatory economic actors, and under-regulated online platforms as the main causes for the global decline of press freedom. Bokande called on all democratic governments and citizens to do more to end this global criminalization of journalists, particularly through firm guarantees and meaningful sanctions. Current protection mechanisms are not strong enough. International law is being undermined by impunity and is rife, she said. Inaction is a form of endorsement, while concluding that the spread of authoritarianism isn't inevitable. Isn't, as in you can still fight it. Oh, I give up. We're in a police state and they control the press and they control what we can say. No. Say, fuck that. That's not the truth. I know the real truth. Anyways.
Right?
Here's my rant for press freedom. As we're doing press freedom right now, right?
freedom.
Nobody can shut us up. Even if you take us off YouTube, we'll make our own website and I'll put it on my own computer and have a server and post it. Can't stop us. We have the ability to be free. You can't take that away. Only when you let them take it away.
Yep. Hey man, speaking of that, I just found my FBI hat that I won. Well, yeah, it's even says FBI on the back. I won it in a trivia contest at one of the Super Bowls, the one in Indianapolis. The only time I've ever worked with the FBI was Super Bowls, and they were assholes, but they gave me a hat. Anyway, not authoritarian related, but the headline related, which your headline should read: France freedom fail. Oh, and by the way, fuck the felon. There you go. Extra.
Yeah, I mean, 25 is pretty bad, but it's not as bad as 64.
Yeah. When you're behind people that are suppressing the free press openly, well, again, it's openly, right? How are we 69th? How are we that high? How are we that high?
I think it's because you can still have like Colbert and stuff making fun of Trump, right? I think it's when you start saying like, hey, you're not allowed to make fun of the government anymore, when your press freedom really goes down, right? Like if you think about a place like Iran or like Russia, right? All of their media is owned corporately, right? If there's an independently owned media news source, they end up getting sanctioned or canceled and they have to go to a different country to report on Russian news, right? Because they actually get put on a gulag. You said you didn't like that we started a war with Ukraine. You're anti-patriotic. We're putting you in jail, you know? So.
The story I should be reporting on right after this is the fact that the FCC is trying to investigate ABC for not canceling Jimmy Kimmel, okay?
Yeah,
because Jimmy Kimmel made a joke about... Okay, don't cut me off. Because Jimmy Kimmel made a joke about Melania Trump. Donald Trump made the same joke in a speech with King Charles. He made the same joke when the joke was Donald Trump married somebody who's gonna outlive him by a long time, and it ain't because of assassination, it's because he's 80, right? Everybody understands that he's old and she's young. That's always been a joke, by the way. It's always old ass joke, right? He made the same joke to King Charles. But they're going to take away ABC's FCC license to broadcast over the airwaves, which is like, okay, ABC, we'll see you in court, motherfucker. Freedom of press.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Anyway, freedom of press is being able to take them to court. Yeah.
Satire is protected speech, and that jokes are protected speech. And for God's sake, grow a fucking skin, you cowards. You went into the public eye. We didn't put you in a public eye.
But that's the difference, right, between Russia and the U.S. right now. Because in Russia, they would have just thrown them off a building and then, you know, replaced somebody with a crony that would do everything that Putin asks. So we're not... The U.S. isn't there yet, thankfully.
Yeah, one thing Trump has done is he's exposed all the cowards for who they really are. He would stand on no ground. The ground moves every day. Your goalpost moves every day, right? Oh, he told us this. We better not report on it. What?
Anyways, my next story...
Again, this is... All right, we got another story. Sorry.
Yes. Our next story...
Sound like I'm drinking, right? I'm drinking.
Tommy said you sound... Tommy said you sound drunk already.
Yeah, right. Not really margaritas.
It's Margaritaville over here. Yeah.
Sugar-free passion fruit Kool-Aid. I like Kool-Aid.
This next story is coming from NOS News, which is a Dutch site, but they're reporting on the Belgians wanting to take over nuclear reactors, decommissioning, halting, and opening old reactors. Belgium is halting the dismantling of the country's nuclear power plants with immediate effect. The country has started negotiations with energy company ENGIE to take over the facilities, Prime Minister Bart De Wever announced via Twitter. The government wants more secure, affordable, and sustainable energy in this way, with less dependence on fossil fuel imports and more control over our own supply. explains Prime Minister De Wever. Energy confirms that is holding exclusive talks with the Belgian state for the acquisition of the installations, because this concerns the power plants in Doel and Kaihang, including personnel, subsidiaries, and all associated assets and liabilities. The aim is to reach an agreement by October 1st at the latest. Belgium had 7 nuclear reactors, 4 in Doel and 3 in Kaihang. In recent years, 5 reactors have already been shut down. 2 reactors are still active but are currently idle for maintenance. The Belgian government now wants to keep the 2 reactors open longer and restart the previously closed facilities. You might be asking, oh, why did these places get closed down? Well, for anybody who wasn't alive, I was barely alive in the 90s and early 2000s. There was this huge anti-nuclear energy thing. Oh, we're poisoning egg trials. Oh, toxic materials. Blah, 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 blah. When in reality, ever since the travesty that was that happened in Ukraine, right? We've made nuclear power so much safer, thousands times more safe than it used to be, right? And these people, I want to think that it was a huge conspiracy by oil companies, basically to pay a bunch of European environmentalists to go say no to nuclear power so that we can keep using oil. Yeah, that's my theory. So that's the reason why these power plants are even being closed down, because they're probably being paid, being influenced by oil money to do these things. Hello, Z. Good morning. Thank you for stopping by, and hello, Yin, as well. Good morning. So Belgium has 7 nuclear reactors. They were previously closed, but they now want to keep the 2 reactors open and restart the previously closed ones. With this, the Belgian government assumes responsibility for the country's long-term energy supply with the aim of developing a financially and economically viable activity that supports the security of supply, climate objectives, industrial resilience, and socio-economic prosperity, said a declaration. The Belgian parliament discussed banning the so-called nuclear phase-out more frequently between 2022 and 25. Nevertheless, nuclear power plants in Belgium remain a subject of debate due to concerns about the safety of the old reactors. Just upgrade them, update them. It's okay. And the big danger with nuclear reactors, back in the 80s and the 70s, was that we were using a very unstable chemical reaction. Now we have something that's way more stable that you even need less of. So even if something bad happens, it's way easier to turn it off than the catastrophe that happened in the past, right? Where it was so much like plutonium exploding everywhere. So I'm not a scientist, but I know that we're not doing it anymore. Yeah. That's my story. Now, give me a second deliberation.
Your story. Your headline should have read. I love this. I love this headline. I thought it right away, and I'm proud of myself as my improv skills again are proven. Anyway, headline should read: No nukes, now new nukes.
Hey!
Because everybody's in favor of nuclear power all of a sudden, because no carbon footprint with nuclear power. As we all grow 5 eyes. That's cool. 5 eyes is better than 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just stop. We still need oil. I'm not saying not use oil completely, but we don't need it for the stuff we're using it for. I mean, I don't remember who said this. I think I saw on a short or something, but maybe it was George Carlin or somebody, but some comedian said something along the lines of, why do we get something that's really common, like oil?
Yeah.
And then just burn it away in an engine when it's useful for so many things. Like oil is so useful for so many things, and we just burn it away in car engines. That's they call it liquid gold. Imagine actually taking gold and then just putting it in a car and burning it into atoms. Like, that's what we're doing. We call it liquid gold, and we're just burning it away.
Don't get me started. All the fucking acquiescence we do for the oil industry is just shameful. We could talk about it for a week.
It's not logical for sure.
It's awful. No, it isn't. None of it makes any sense. None of it make any sense. None of it makes any sense. The fact that we have to pay for public utilities as much as we do because of the greed of corporate America, and that's the only reason. That's the only reason. It's a public utility. It ain't something we can go. That's what I'm saying. Advocating for any way you can get off the grid, any way you can cut that power bill as little as you can. Right. All right. So back to whatever we're going to do next. Which was
our next segue.
Hold on. Might look away. I lost my magnet, man, I better find it. I might spend your whole segment digging around on the floor for my magnet. What's a segue?
Hypothetical, hypo.
Hypothetical. Oops, hypo. Right then. Well, we have two stories. We're going to talk about King Charles first. Both of these are just kind of middling, not bad, not good, or not anything stories for a Thursday. Time.com has a story. Simone Shaw, New York City. King Charles spends an afternoon with students at an urban farm in Harlem. Me, I'm a big advocate. What was I talking about? Locally sourced everything, right? Why do you need Walmart to pick your fruit for you? Holy shit. Isn't that unfortunate? Anywho, in the middle of the city block in Harlem, King Charles III fed chickens and watched students make mango salsa surrounded by beds of freshly planted broccoli and cauliflower, which I plan on planting way out of the walnut zone. They kill it. They don't do good. Right?
Farmer era.
Yeah, they're going to have to be planted in pots in a specific area so nothing falls in them. As part of the U.S. visit, King Charles spent Wednesday afternoon visiting Harlem Grown, a New York farm focused on increasing access to healthy foods for local residents, providing educational programs for kids. The visit wasn't a big press moment for the king. Rather than making remarks, he decided spend his time meeting and engaging with community members one-on-one. Making remarks is pointless anyway. Who gives a shit, right? Talk. Talk is cheap. Anybody can talk, unless you can't talk. Then you're RFK Jr. Urban farms, right? Not a big thing saying words. I'm just saying it's not like you're a high wire act. Urban farms like Harlem Grown not only improve food security, again, the number one cause of immigration, but also climate resilience, lowering the carbon footprint of food production and reducing the effects of heat islands that cities are often prone to. More green spaces on roofs, please, New York City. This nonprofit's goals align with King Charles' own commitment to sustainability and climate action. In 2020, he founded the Sustainable Markets Initiative, a CEO-led climate coalition aimed at bringing world leaders and executives together toward the goal of mobilizing trillions of dollars to climate solutions. Last year, the Royal Family Sovereign Grant report made environmental sustainability a priority, cementing the king's dedication to addressing climate change and his role as a monarch. During his message to Congress on Thursday, he didn't shy away from this topic. He praised the natural splendor of the United States before tactfully ignoring all the sheep in Scotland that are killing the environment. Hey, maybe do something about that, Mr. King. Anywho, before tactically urging lawmakers to protect the country's natural resources. And again, take up your own backyard, King. You own the shit. Go do something besides shepherding all of our land. Be an actual shepherd of the land and not a shepherd of the sheep. Come on, man. Put your money where your mouth is. I see through it. Don't lecture the United States. We have national, my friend. Anywho, our generation must decide how to address the collapse of critical natural systems, which threatens far more than harmony and essentially diversity of nature. These natural ecosystems, in our words, natural's own economy, provide a foundation of our prosperity and national security, he said again with a lot of words, which I said he wasn't going to do. Under Stinky the Clown, the United States has seen a dismantling of the climate policy. I'm sorry this isn't a shorter story. Trump withdrew from the U.S. from the Paris Agreement and rushed for more offshore oil and gas drilling. Earlier this year, the Environmental Protection Agency repealed its engagement finding, and my Environmental Protection Agency doesn't exist. Let's just say it that way. The government also cut funding for nonprofits. About 1/3 of U.S. nonprofits experienced a disruption of their government funding for the first half of 2025. The cuts have forced organizations like Harlem Grown to innovate and find new sources of funding. Open the checkbook, King Chucky. Open it up. We understand that there are always going to be challenges. This work is hard, even the best of circumstances, said Nicole Engel, Executive Director of Harlem Grown. But programs addressing food insecurity is something that is being cut right now, which makes no sense. Again, we reemphasize Donald Trump works for Russia. You have to see the world through that paradigm. That's the paradigm we've lived in since 2016. Let's have us I forgot what you spun because I don't have my glasses.
Hypothetical. Yeah, hypothetically, if somebody wasn't working for Russia, all these programs that have been really useful for the last couple of decades, since at least the 2000s, right? We opened all these environmentally forward, socialist things. Socialism, that's bad. And we've been working against that grind for ages, and then finally got somebody in the seat basically say, yeah, socialism is bad. Let's turn it all off and see how bad a country can be. I also love socialism. So there you go. There's your hypothetical.
All right, one more story, and it's about
loving socialism.
Politics, we are always in a political season in America, it seems like, and that's a shame. I would love to ignore politics and report on other shit, but unfortunately, we got to stop the fascists. That's all I really have to be done right now for America is stop the fascists. That's all there has to be, really. Just stop them in their tracks, push them back, try to arrest as many of them as you can because they're breaking the law. And we're going to talk about one campaign for Senate. The Senate race this year, where 1/3 of the Senate is up and a lot of Republican seats. One of them is in Maine, and the governor of Maine thought she had a chance, but unfortunately, we're kind of are going to impose an age limit on who we want running for our seats because we don't want people to drop dead. Dropping dead in Senate and changing parties in Senate. That stuff in Pennsylvania. That idiot in Pennsylvania, just Fetterman. That guy, he's got to go. He's got to go, but he's not for election this year. But Susan Collins is, and if you know who Susan Collins is, she's the lady that thinks Trump's going to learn a lesson one of these days. PressHerald.com, Janet Mills suspends his candidacy. Randy Billings has the story. We'll try to rush through this. Governor Janet Mills announced Thursday she's ending her campaign for U.S. Senate. Her decision sets up a head-to-head matchup between Democratic newcomer Graham Plattner and the U.S. and Republican U.S. Senator Susan Collins. Another person who I can't listen to when she talks. Her and Bobby Kennedy should be a pair. Bobby Kennedy Jr. Whatever, I don't care as long as she gets out of the Senate. While I have the drive and passion, commitment and experience, and above all else, the fight to continue on, I very simply do not have one thing that political campaigns unfortunately require today, the financial resources. That is why today I made the incredibly difficult decision to suspend my campaign for the United States Senate, she said in an emailed statement Thursday. This stunning turn of events likely marks an inglorious end to the precedent-setting political career of the 78-year-old Mills, who was the state's first female district attorney, attorney general, and governor. Let's celebrate her career, but let's realize the political realities. The Trump years have displayed the fact that even looking like you ain't got it together is bad. Okay? Mills had the backing of Democratic leadership in Washington, D.C., leadership that has been the subject of relentless criticism from Plattner, who is drawing support from progressive stalwarts like Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. And a written statement, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Senator Christine Gillibrand, both of New York, commending Mills for breaking barriers through a career, running hard-fought and principled campaign. After years of allowing Trump's abuses of power, Senator Collins has never been more vulnerable, and we will work with the presumptive Democratic nominee, Graham Plattner, to defeat her in her wishy-washy won't stand her ground, ass. He didn't say that part. I did. Collins also weighed. Collins also weighed on. I'm pro. What is she? She's supposedly pro-choice, right? Oh, boy, I'm pro-choice, but she voted for all them assholes. She voted for them all. She put them on the Supreme Court. She's full of shit. She's completely full of shit. Collins also weighed on Mills' decision, saying on written statement. I'm not talking about Mills, by the way. I'm talking about Collins, the one who's sitting in the Senate right now. Don't get confused here. Mills is a fine lady, right? She's a fine lady. She's just going to run into a buzzsaw in this primary. So she's getting out. I'm sure this was a difficult decision for Governor Mills, and I thank her for her decades of service to the people of Maine, Susan Collins said, and hoping that she was going to face her, and she could probably maybe even beat her because they're both, she's actually still younger than Governor Mills. So here we go. Mills' campaign failed to excite or restless Democratic electorate, claiming for a new generation of leaders will take the fight to Collins, who is 73, and Trump, who is currently 79, about to turn 80 trips around the sun that humans have had to suffer with that guy. So really, really old people cannot replace really, really old people. It's not a plan. If you're watching the NFL draft, I will link this. I'll associate this NFL draft. Not a lot of teams are going, you know what? Our left tackle's 36. Let's draft the guy who's been out of college for 8 years and put him in there. Let's go get that guy instead of a new, fresh guy, right?
That we can teach
because
the ropes
we want
to,
a guy that's just about broken down. Right? No, anybody can coach. I can coach. It just makes sense to bring in a new crop. Again, what are you accomplishing, Susan Collins? What are you accomplishing, Janet Mills, by thinking that the old order is in place? It doesn't exist. Trump works for Russia. He just does, man. I don't know how you can sit through briefings from Intel's sources back when Obama was president and not realize, and Susan Collins did, that Trump works for Russia. She just don't care. She's being blackmailed. I don't know what their problem. Anyway, Mills trailed Plattner in most metrics: fundraising, independent polling, crowd sizes, and rallies. I can't say. I got your name stuck in my head.
Rally.
At rallies and ad spending and on television and social media. Nicholas Jacobs, a political science professor at Colby College, said he was surprised that Mills suspended her campaign before participating in any televised debates. I think that's a good idea. You know, it's just sow division. I think that's what debates do in a primary. Jacobs was equally surprised that Democrats did not rally around Mills and his history of winning statewide races, standing up to President Donald Trump, and centrist voting record that often she has never. Oh yeah, she has stood up to President Trump. I'm sorry. I'm so confused now. Anyway, her centrist voting record that often plays well in general elections here, but is Maine. I don't get being a centrist in Maine. They actually elected some nut job for mayor, so I don't know if that's centrist. I'm sure that's I forget the guy's name. He was absolutely nuts. He was a racist too, but I think he won one of them three-way races where he just got the most votes. One group that did not appear surprised, Collins' allies. They began targeting Plattner with negative ads earlier this week. Of course, they knew he was going to win. Another national Republicans pounced on Mills' exit from the race as an opportunity to criticize Plattner. Chuck Schumer said that Democrats just coordinated a phony who was too extreme for Maine. National Republican Senatorial Committee Chairman Tim Scott, the black Republican who thought he was going to get a job in the Trump administration, but looked him over. Washington Democrats always fall short in Maine and will fail again because they just nominated a dishonest radical. I have no idea what that means. Dishonest, eh? Plattner is 41, excited crowds from the moment he entered the race last summer, offering a forceful populist voice and sharp criticism of both political establishment against the older, well-known opponent. Let's not miss words. He criticizes AIPAC. He's on the anti-AIPAC train. If you're not on that, good luck in the primaries. Mills gained national attention on February 2025 after standing up to Trump after being called out at a White House event in front of the nation's governors. Trump threatened to withhold funding if Maine did not follow her executive order banning transgender athletes in women's sports. Stay the fuck out of sports, Trump.
Yeah, that one lady. Just ban her. Just the one lady. You better ban all the one person that's there. Golf,
the guy that cheats at golf and claims he's won every tournament he's ever entered, telling everybody else how to participate in sports. Holy fucking shit. Mills told him she was following state and local laws and she would see him in court. That really brave. Again, nothing against her. It's just once you get to a certain age in this climate,
I can't tell you
how. Get
how.
To that age, it's time to turn the page.
Yeah. Exactly.
Civil service, but elected office is not a kingship. It's not a dukedom. It's not your lordness. You've served yourself as governor. You're 78. Oh my fucking God, retire. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Is that the end of your story?
I'm 63 and I don't want to work no more. Yeah. That's my story. That's my two stars.
Well, I mean, this reminds me of what happened when originally, right, when Obama got elected. It wasn't just because he was a black guy, right? That was a big deal too. But also, he was a younger guy. He was somebody who was your generation, right? And everyone, I remember when he got elected the first time, everyone was like, finally, somebody from my generation to make rules about things I care about. And we thought, as a millennial, I thought, right? Next up was going to be like a Gen X, maybe. After that, maybe a millennial president. You know, who knows? Instead, it went the opposite fucking direction, older and older, to people who don't even know how the internet works, how computers work, right? Asking TikTok CEOs, are you paid by China? I'm from a different fucking country, dude. Do you know how countries work? Do you know that not every place is China and India? There's other countries in the middle there. And that's what we're stuck with. We're stuck with old-ass people who've completely disassociated with reality. So, hypothetically, I wish I was in a future where our presidents got younger or stayed like the same age, not got older, right? 40-year-old president, 40-year-old president, or 50-year-old, not an 80-year-old one. Or a 70-year-old one. But these people don't know shit of what's going on. That's my opinion.
I'm not an ageist. I'm not an ageist because it's not in my best interest. But
of course.
And that's the actual only reason. But I won't say absolutely that's the whole thing that would disqualify you.
Yeah.
I will say that in this political climate, trying to run as I'm gonna bring this thing to whatever when you're just I get it, but you know what? It's just not the political climate. The political climate is the old ways got us here, right? And as Bob Dylan said, if you can't get out of the road, but the old road is changing. If you can't get out of the new one, or lend a hand or something like that. What does he say? Get out of the new road if you can't lend a hand. So she's just going to get out of the road and hopefully lend a hand, because there is no point in trying to go, we're going to change with this youth movement in the Senate when you're older than Susan Collins. That just is not going to work for the voters. It's not going to motivate anyone. Win or lose, if he's a terrible senator, that's why we have elections, okay? That's why we have elections. If he's a terrible senator, follow after me. This is why that Fetterman idiot, and I've had this argument on Daily Kos with these people are absolutists, right? The litmus test, the purity test people. He sounds like he's gonna be another Fetterman. Well, if he's another Fetterman, he gets 6 years and you throw his ass out. This is how politics works, folks. By the way, if it's 78-year-old Janet Mills, I don't know how long she's got. 84 seems like a pretty ripe old age to me. I know it's not for senators these days, but holy crap. I don't know. I don't know why you would take that kind of chance with a 6-year term. And what if the governor's going to change seats possibly because you're going to have to replace the governor? You're not thinking ahead if you're supporting her. And I had all those points behind me. It's like, this is democracy. It doesn't go, oh, we need a perfect person. Ooh, why isn't Jesus Christ running? You know, that's not going to happen. Anyway,
they wouldn't elect him, ironically enough. If Jesus Christ was running, they'd be like, some brown guy from the Middle East. He's going to make us Wait, pray to God? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He believes in God because he's Jesus Christ. God,
Long-haired freak for the Middle East.
Anything. It's just frustrating, really. Let's roll our next segue.
A long-haired freak from the Middle East. Right on. And I
feel like I would just be really happy in the world right now if there's somebody your age in the presidency. Just, I don't care who it is. Somebody who's more aware, just in general, of how the world works now. And it's just, that didn't happen. It just didn't happen.
My guy is John. My guy right now is
spilled
John
water all over
Ossoff,
myself.
And senator from Georgia. But that's my guy right now. I think he's a very good public speaker, and he got elected twice in Georgia to the Senate. That's not easy.
Imagine being a good public speaker. That's crazy. Our next segue is a haiku. So get that pen and paper out.
Haiku, I gotta think. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I gotta count to 5 and 7. I hope you can count that high.
Okay, talk slow because I still got to update my board for about 6 players. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players. Okay.
Our next story. These 2 stories are moderately long, depending on how long I talk about them. It's coming out of Scotland on the Herald Scotland as an SNP majority at the Scottish election would stop Nigel Farage at the border, John Swiney said. For anybody who doesn't know who that is, he's the ruler of the We Hate Immigrants party and let's get immigrants out of the UK. Oh wait, we should have colonized all those places if we didn't want immigrants. Whoops. Anyways, the First Minister said a vote for his party would lock Reform UK out of power of Holyrood. The SNP leader, who is campaigning in the south of Scotland, today, on the 30th of April, reiterated his claims that other parties were willing to do a grubby deal with Reform, which means they'll side with a person who's basically a fascist, just so they can get votes. Spineless. The SNP wants to bring down people's bills. The other parties, led by Reform, want to stop us, he said. Reform and the other parties want people to vote for an opposition to stop things from happening. I want people to vote for an SNP government to get things done. Bring down the cost of food, reduce the cost of commute, expand support for childcare. That is the choice on the ballot paper 1 week from today. By uniting behind the SNP, people in Scotland can stop Nigel Farage at the border. So, if you're living in Scotland and you're voting for local elections, please vote for the right people. Not the people who want to, kick out all the brown people from your local town. Mr. Swiney said that his party was the only one strong enough to beat Reform in the South of Scotland and across the country, adding, "We will never do a grubby deal with Nigel Farage or Lord Offord." He went on, "The best way to ensure we keep Reform out of power is by electing a majority SNP government, one that supports people with the cost of living, blocks out Nigel Farage and delivers the fresh start of independence. Yes, please." Oh my god, I think if Scotland were to be independent, I would actually cry. And it doesn't even affect me, but I would cry. But we have to make it happen. That opportunity is in Scotland's hands. So 1 week today, I'm asking people to vote SNP for a government on Scotland's side and for my reliable, trusted leadership that will support people with the cost of living. So Scottish Liberal Democrat MP Wendy Chamberlain said, "People are looking around for changes because they have been failed by 19 years by the SNP neglect." Yeah, I mean, if they just got that independence out, maybe things would be happier for SNP. All across Scotland is the Scottish Liberal Democrats which are taking the fight to reform. In the most recent TV debate, it was Alex Cole-Hamilton who challenged Malcolm Offord over Nigel Farage, saying that a ban on handguns was ludicrous and knee-jerking following the Dunblane shooting. In this election, you can reject both SNP failure and the poison of reform by voting for the Scottish Liberal Democrats on your second each regional ballot paper. I don't care who you vote for, as long as it's not reform. Like, voting for reform is just like, you have no self-respect. That's my opinion. Rachel Hamilton, deputy leader of the Scottish Tories, said, "John Swiney is once again talking up reform because he knows they are a gift to his party. It will help them stay in power. The reality is that it is the Scottish Conservatives who are best placed to stop the SNP in the south of Scotland. Everybody knows that we stopped his party winning a majority in 2016 and 21 by winning the blue wall across the border. And we can do it again. Voters in the area should use both their ballot papers and vote for the Scottish Conservatives on May 7th to stop the nightmare scenario of SNP majority and their fresh demands for another referendum. What I want to hear from these guys is the idea that they're not making back alley deals with reform. Because that's what he was saying. Like, all the Tories have to say is that we're not doing that, fuck reform, but they're not, which makes me think of that they are making back alley deals with Nigel Farage. So, but never trust a Tory, that's what I say. Fully biased. Never trust a Tory. I don't care if it's a Scottish one, a Welsh one, or a freaking Atlantean one. Don't trust a Tory.
Right?
Did you finish your haiku?
Man, I got me a haiku.
At least, nice.
I got me a haiku. It has to do with British politics and what I was just talking about before. I just got to write one more thing down. And I was doing three things at once. I was also queuing up a video. I had to find it first. That was a challenge. All right, my haiku says, "Less sheep, King Charlie. More wild lands for Scotland. And more immigrants." There you go. There's my platform for Scotland.
I mean,
less sheep, more immigrants.
As I'm sure you know, and I know it as well because I wrote my bachelor's thesis on it, but there was a huge exodus of people from Scotland. And they never got their population back after that. So they need immigrants because unless you go back, right, if the Scottish descendants go back, right, they need people to be living there.
Here's what these assholes did. They didn't just take you out of your house and put you somewhere. They took you out of your house and burned it to the ground. It didn't matter what the climate was. There are not a lot of warm days in the Highlands. And so a lot of old people just froze to death. So yeah, that's what they did. So screw them. Replace the sheep. All right, so we're going to do the NFL thing next.
No, not yet. I have one more story.
We got not yet? Okay, I got another haiku. All right, well, I have time to load my video now. Okay, cool.
This next story is coming out of Paris. There's been a terrible bus accident from a trainee driver. This is from Inti-Landoro on the Independent. Buses crashed into the river Seine in France. Pico ended up in the river in Juvisy-sur-Orge, south of Paris, at around 9:30 a.m. local time or 8:30 GMT. The Transport Authority for the Ile-de-France region said that the 4 people on the board, driver, her tutor, and 2 passengers. Oh no, it was a female driver. No! The stereotypes. Whoa. Get another second wind. Have been rescued and were now safe and sound. Later in the morning, the bus could still be seen floating in the Seine, close to the riverbank. Towing teams at the scene of removed the bus from the river. The bus with the driver at the end of her train. Oh, sorry, that was the caption for that photo. Photos from the scene showed the bus could still be seen floating, while a dark blue car lay floating a few feet away. Drivers searched the vehicle before confirming no one was trapped inside. The mayor of Juvisy, Lamia Bensarasa Rida, was reported as saying she was stunned by the accident. "It is the first time I've seen anything like this. I think I've just experienced the worst day of my life. Luckily, there were no casualties thanks to the quick response of the police and emergency services." He also said, speaking to French newspaper Le Parisien, "Our municipal police officers are on site to keep the very congested traffic flowing as smoothly as possible around the Seine riverbanks," Rita added. In a press release, she said Ile-de-France Mobilités is asking its operator to launch an internal investigation to determine the cause of the accident as quickly as possible. A map of... Oh, no, that's just a map. An investigation is expected to be launched soon to determine the exact cause of the incident and I guess whether or not this person was ready for a... It doesn't seem like they were ready for a field test, so to say. They might still have needed some more time behind the wheel, the stationary bus. Like, oh, we drove off a bridge. That definitely should not be happening with a full bus of people. Luckily, there was only 2 passengers. That's my story.
All right, man. Okay, I do have a haiku. I was listening. I do have a story. Here it goes. Buses are floating. And greyhounds can really swim. Neither done swiftly. Greyhound in America, greyhounds are buses.
Yeah, the long-term buses.
Okay, I got me a video.
All right, go ahead and send it over on WhatsApp, and then I will spin the segue wheel.
And right. So my second story is going to be, as usual, punsies. Okay, R2 pun. Okay, pun about the NFL draft. Going to update my list as much as possible here because a lot of these guys didn't get drafted. Fortunately, I was like, man, I thought they were ranked. And again, when I made this list 4 weeks ago, it was a Thursday where I first started paying attention to the NFL draft. It was purely my fault. I had no precognitions about who should be drafted where. I went in it blindly. I've learned a lot since then, right? Because I watched it and I rewatched it and I watched it again. And after I did that, I watched it. So, because it's on all the time now. If you just watch the NFL thing, they just play it all day. And that's it. And if you missed it, don't worry. Anywho, we had the all-name team. The all-name team featured a lot of great names. My favorite, of course, was Drafted. One team took 2 of my players. The Steelers took some of my minor players, like Jennings Dunker, got by the Steelers. The Packers signed a quarterback on my list, Tyrone Drones or whatever, who didn't make my final cut, but the Packers signed him as a free agent. But these are the guys on my list and where they went. Number 1 was Ethan Kalikmakis, the quarterback from Rutgers. I don't have my magnet. It's on the floor somewhere. I didn't have time to go look for it. Kalikmakis was drafted by the Redskins, or sorry, not Redskins. There's a slip. The Washington team, their name this year is called the Commanders. Who knows when they're going to change it again. 223rd pick. In the draft, that's all about the, 10th quarterback taken, but he was drafted. Some quarterbacks worked. Rutgers quarterback Ethan Kalikmakis going to the Washington football team. Our tight end in our team was Chaman Mateer, a Haitian name. Chaman Mateer, a player for Ole Miss. I believe he was a player for. I forgot what team he was. I didn't make it on this list. I have to think of what team he was playing for later, probably. I'll probably have to research it. It won't take but a minute. Anyway, was not drafted. Chaman Mateer was not drafted, but the Steelers did sign him after the draft, which a lot of times, if you're not drafted, it's better to just go to the team you want to go to, where you think you got a chance to play. And that's probably what he did. So hopefully our tight end gets a chance to play for the Steelers. And the draft was in Pittsburgh, by the way. And we're talking about Steelers. I think in your next story, maybe. We were going to do that segue. Number 3 position was wide receiver. And this guy was actually drafted at the first pick in the 2nd round. He was overdrafted, according to a lot of scouts. So it was a 5th round pick. But he was a 33rd pick in the draft by the San Francisco 49ers on the second day of the draft. The very first pick was DeJon Stribling, and everybody on TV I watched today went, oh my God, they need a wide receiver, but this guy's available later, blah, 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 blah. Like these guys know, like they have some secret knowledge, right? They don't know. They don't fucking know. Either way, it shocked all these guys. DeJon Stribling wins, not only wins our all-name team, but he wins by being such a high draft pick, which means cha-ching. I'm just telling you, the higher you pick, the more money. It's in the rules. Number 4 is the highest pick on our list and probably the best player in the draft. Jeremiah Love, drafted by Arizona. Number 3 overall. He's a running back. Jeremiah is not a funny name, neither is Love, but the way he spells it, Jerym. I'm just giving this a shot. Aeyh. Anyway, there wasn't a lot of funny running back names for a change. So Jeremiah Love, the best player in the draft, according to basically everybody, and he calls himself not a running back but a weapon. So weapon is a new position, and he's you can split him out as wide receiver. He's fast, he's big, he's hard to tackle, and he loves to play football. That's a hard thing to defeat. Of course, usually those guys blow their knee out in the first game and never heard from again. But hopefully, he has a long, successful career. We hope this for everybody here. Our next guy was a fullback who was not drafted. In fact, never even left college. So I got that wrong. But he has a great name, Marion Rabowski from Western Michigan. Congratulations, Western Michigan. You get your guy back for another year, and I hope he's just another. Maybe we'll do a list next year. He's on the list. So that's kind of good news. Nobody drafted him. And speaking of guys who never went undrafted, the guy I couldn't pronounce, Famo, which is a Samoan name, went undrafted, but was drafted by the CFL, the Canadian Football League. So that's a consolation prize. You can still make a living knocking people on their ass. So good for him. He doesn't have to go get a real job. Number 7, interior lineman, center guard type, the guy that snaps the ball and the two guys beside him. The best name among those was a guy named with the hyphenations and the apostrophes, and both, I believe, Armaj Reed Adams. Armaj Reed Adams is Texas A&M, who was, let's look at my notes here. It says here, he was drafted by the Buffalo Bills at the 241st pick. So they have themselves an Armaj Reed Adams in the center of their line, and he will get paid a lot more to knock people on their ass than the Canadian League guy will. And hopefully the Canadian League guy gets really, really good at his craft and starts making a lot of money real fast. Our number 8 edge was drafted by the New England Patriots while their coach was at counseling. The New England Patriots, their coach is Mike Vrabel, by the way, the guy involved in the sex for information scandal with a reporter. Anyway, while he was at counseling, his team drafted an edge at 247, Quintavious Hutchins. They said, daggone it, we need us a Quintavious Hutchins. Quintavious Hutchins is the new edge, undersized as he is, from Boston College, just moving down the street from Boston College to New England Patriots. It's like, you know who should we draft today? Somebody that doesn't have to move. Awesome. There you go. Easy to sign that guy. He has no moving expenses. So don't even try it on your income taxes, son. Number 9, our defensive tackle who was not drafted and was not signed, and he has a criminal record. He also has a Z and an X in his name. I don't know if there's a connection with that thing, but Xavier Harris, ZXAVIAN, your Scrabble score of the year name, Harris, was not drafted. He had some problems in college, and he went to Ole Miss. So we have a couple of Ole Miss players there. Dejon Streebling was drafted, perhaps too high. Xavier Harris, undrafted, skilled player who likes to hit people. So, person, when you're not being instructed to hit them, it's a felony. That's unfortunate. For Xavier Harris, let's hope he straightens out his life. Another guy that wasn't drafted and probably surprised drafted.
Omlin just said Z Golden Phoenix also has a Z and an X in his name, but that's not his real name, Omlin.
Is he currently under a shadow of no team wants to even sign him, even though he's got talent? That's
he's a bit too old to enter the NFL right now. No offense, Z.
Yeah, you run for Senate. Our other undrafted number 10 is our linebacker list. That last one was defensive tackle, by the way, the big fat guys. That guy was a big fat guy who just hits people that don't want to be hit. And our number 10, our linebackers, Torin York, who was not drafted, or Taurine York. or however you pronounce it, Texas A&M linebacker, but he was signed by the Denver Broncos. And our number one name, our name that will go down, I'm cheering for this guy. He plays for the 49ers. I hate the 49ers, but they got two guys on my list. Holy crap, they got DeJon Streebling, and while they were sitting there at pick 139, and maybe their coach was off seeing a reporter, I don't know. But either way, at pick 139, they drafted Ephesians Prysock. They got Ephesians Prysock, the San Francisco 49ers, new quarterback from the University of Washington, a big 6'3" guy too, Ephesians Prysock. And we're down to our last two on the list where I can't, my magnet is not available to me, and I'm immobile when I'm doing research. Number 12 is safety drafted by the Los Angeles Chargers at 171, Genesis Smith. And if you see the bottom of our list, Genesis Smith, not the greatest name. I just love the fact that you can say his name and use it for all kinds of puns during the season, right? You can see every sports writer, every commentator just going to the biblical references constantly, right?
He's Jesus on the field.
No. Well, Jesus. Well, no, not Jesus. Genesis is the Old Testament. We're talking about Adam and Eve and the snake in the Garden of Eden. All of that crap. Genesis, that crap. Cain and Abel, that shit, right? There, those are references, not Jesus. Anyway, number 13 is our reference, is the reason I'm wearing a G today. Carrying the G, as they call it. Carrying the G for Trey Smack, the best kicker in the draft, drafted at number 216 by the Green Bay Packers. Not only did they draft a kicker when they already had two kickers in camp who struggled at times last year. In fact, the Packers have the guy who holds the Packers record for the longest kick, but that's about all he hit. That's unfortunately, if you can't hit the short ones, you ain't much good. So they got three kickers. They not only drafted Trey Smack, who can talk smack, they traded up to draft Trey Smack. So we're talking about an all-time move for the Green Bay Packers in our all-team list. Let's have us a whatever I forgot to write down.
A bad pun.
Bad pun. Yeah, I can see it. I just can't. Bad pun.
Let me turn on my phone camera. There we go.
You an email.
I've been turning my camera on these days. Also, I still haven't gotten your link. If you sent me a link. Oh, now you are. Okay.
I haven't sent it yet.
Oh, my puns. Sent it yet because... You know what they say.
What the hell? No, I don't. What did they say?
I lost it. Oh my god. I just had it and I wrote it. Oh yeah. Draft picks and draft pours both require good taste. But that's for your alcoholics out there as well.
Hold on. I'm really slow. Say it again. Get another one? Get another pun?
Do you have another one?
No, no more puns.
It sounds like Smack has been drafted into a league of extraordinary brews. Because I guess people in Wisconsin also love to drink. As I'm sure you've bragged about millions of times before, the only team, well, not the only team, but one of the only teams that is not owned by a corporation or something, right? It's just owned. It's owned by the people. The only team
that's not owned by anybody.
Yeah, it's owned by the people. It's the
most socialist. The Green Bay Packers are the most socialist team in the most socialist league. The NFL is a socialist league. They share profits.
Sounds like
even
they
if your
were
team sucks. You get it.
Trading up for a legendary season, because you did say they were trading up.
Mm-hmm. They traded 2 picks to go up and get. Well, you need a kicker that can hit it from 60 yards. You supposedly can. So yeah, let's spin for me, I guess.
Back in the old days, Roger used to make moves like a GM on draft night, and you can take that how you want.
Yeah, I do. I traded half the team. I do those mock drafts, and I did this. Yeah. I did this prepare for the draft just to see who the Packers would be available because I didn't have a first round pick. I'm like, oh God, they're gonna get some bum, and it was a terrible draft, by the way. They ran out of players that were any good. I mean, I'm just saying that the free signed are just as good as 7th round picks. They were just weren't that much of a draft, and the reason is they're paying players in college. Why do you got to come out and be drafted in the 6th round when I can stay here and make more money? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
So they're staying in college till they're seniors. They use up their eligibility, then declare for the draft. So that's happening, and it's bleeding the NFL with talent. And a lot of people are not like realizing it. I'm realizing it in real time because I see these players and I go, okay, this guy wouldn't even been drafted last year. What are you talking like he's great? You know, they're just, you know, I'm serious. It's like the Packers did the right thing by trading on it.
Stewing for a little longer in the brew, okay? That's why they're staying in college.
Exactly.
They're just stewing a little longer. Our next segue is mixed metaphor for my culture news.
There you go. You mixed in a metaphor. Did you see what I did there? A pun on metaphors. Anyway. I gotta close some stories so my video will play. Go ahead, let's have it. Let's have a story.
I still haven't gotten your message. If you sent it to me, I still haven't gotten it.
I got your whole entire segment to do it, so I'll do that.
Okay. Our next story is coming out of my culture news, in which we're going to be talking about fries/chips, if you're in the rest of the world, in which a study has found that it tastes better from someone else's plate. This is by Amber Louise Bryce on Your News Culture. Whether you're the person taking another person's chips or the victim of such an act, a new study offers an explanation. Stolen food tends to taste better and it's more appealing. I thought David was the pun master, but it looks like Amber also is too. Some might call chips the universal language of love, savored by almost everyone. They're the kind of food that brings people together in a joyful bond of golden grease. Unless, of course, someone is a chip thief. We've all been there. You've ordered yourself a big portion of fries, which your companion convincingly reassured you they did not want. They're fine with just the salad. You ask them if they're sure. They say they are, but after the fries arrive, their halo suddenly slips. First, it's a gentle request for just one, then maybe a couple more. Next thing you know, you're returning to the bathroom with a near empty bowl and a few soggy stragglers left behind. Researchers at the returning from the bathroom, not we're going to the bathroom with your fries. Researchers at the Russian Medical Academy decided to explore why this temptation to steal chips persists. That moral transgressions might enhance a gustatory pleasure. To conduct the study, which was first published in the journal Food Quality and Preference, the researchers served each of their 120 participants the same portion of chips, first directly, then as an offering from another person. Finally, they were asked to secretly steal chips from their fellow participants in both high and low risk scenarios. What high risk scenario for stealing chips? I'm giving birth! I still stole your chips! High risk scenario. The participants were then asked to rank the deliciousness of the chips on a scale from 1 to 9, with those stolen collectively ranking the highest. Interestingly, the greater the risk of being caught, the greater the prize induced high, with the stolen chips scoring a 40% more in flavor, crispiness, and saltiness than those served directly. According to the participants, the thrill combined with the guilt of sneaking the forbidden fries made devouring them more exciting. The results could also be linked to scarcity mindset, which refers to the way our brains become more anxious and fearful when there's a lack of something, making us more competitive and impulsive. The same goes for anything prohibited, often known as the forbidden fruit effect. Hey, we're just talking about the Bible. When we're told something is off limits, it instantly becomes more valuable and desirable. Previous studies have found that a scarcity mindset can also dampen our ability to empathize with other people's pain, or in this case, annoyance. I think this is the reason why a lot of streamers get more successful if they only stream like 3 times a week, because they're scarce, right? So people start making the effort to try to catch them. Whereas I stream all week, right? So I'm not very scarce. If you stop in, on any weekday, I'll probably be there. So I'm less scarce. That's the idea anyways. The study authors said their findings help expand Our understandings of how everyday transgression engage reward circuits provide more insight into behavioral psychology and human thought processes that underpin the eating habits of humans. And while it's unlikely to stop anyone from stealing your chips, the culprits have a good excuse. Next time, at least. Hey, it just tastes better. It just tastes better. And there is my culture segment.
Right on. I got a mixed metaphor, and you do have a Genesis reference in your story. You said forbidden fruit. There you go. There you go. That's how easy it is to make that guy's name as a sportscaster. I wanted to be a sportscaster at his games. Anyway, you know the old saying, a chip in the hand is worth about 6 pence. Or as we compare this these days like that, forbidden fruit, the actual forbidden fruit, the literal forbidden fruit, and I've done this in my younger daring years. I don't advocate this. You grab a bunch of grapes and you just eat them as you go around the store, one at a time. A bunch of free grapes. You're not going to get weighed. They're buying them by the weight, and when you get to the counter, you got you've either disposed of an empty twig somewhere, or you got like 3 grapes. I'll have these 3 grapes, please. All right, anyway, that's my long metaphor / simile. I could do a simile, and that's what that was, a simile.
I mean, you can definitely do that here because you don't even have anyone measure your grapes. You just do it yourself. They have like these little weigh things all over the grocery stores here in the Netherlands, and you just get a tag, and the tag is like you measured this much grape. It's obviously all an honor system, which works better in more Germanic places because Germanic people tend to be more honor-centric, I guess. But yeah, you could definitely just be walking around the store eating a banana, right? And then just throw away your peel.
Yeah, pretty soon you'll just have to buy the grape, one grape at a time to put a little price tag on them. Oh, that's coming. That's coming.
Oh, God. I can only afford 3 grapes.
No. You pay a vending machine that shoots them in your mouth. Just
keep feeding it.
You can pick the
feeding it dollar
velocity.
bills. That's how expensive they're going to be, $1 per grape.
Yeah, you can have them rapid fire. You can have one at a time.
All right, it's time for me to do a haiku for this day in history.
Haiku. Okay, I'm running out of space. My third segment, history. Haiku. History haiku. You're 2/3 to a alliteration headline. And this day in history has many mysteries, and it rhymes too. Let's, now, by the way, I sent your video. I don't know if you acknowledge that or not, but there you have it. So my Green Bay Packers fandom comes out. The only team that's not owned by anybody, as I said before. It's not owned by an owner. Long time ago, they sold stock, and they got away with selling stock that does not pay a dividend or any. You can't sell the stock either, and it never increases in value. It's the value. It's always going to be. You get a piece of paper that says you're an owner, and you get to go to the owners meeting. That's it. You don't get to vote on nothing. You get no say. And people get to go, wow, you just spent a lot of money for that, didn't you? It was $200 when I sent away for an application. I just didn't have it at the time. Anyway, the last day, 1897, English physicist J.J. Thomson, without a P, announced that he had discovered the electron, holy crap, which helped to revolutionize the knowledge of the atomic structure. He later was awarded the Nobel Prize for Physics. So this is the day the electron was announced as a thing. 1900, American railroad engineer Casey Jones, watch your speed, died in a train wreck in Mississippi. He was not watching speed. Riding that train, high on cocaine. He was later slandered by Jerry Garcia. Later made famous in a song, not the Jerry Garcia song, but a different Casey Jones song. Was not probably high on cocaine, although Coca-Cola. No, I don't think it had cocaine in 1900. I think we looked this up a couple of years ago. 1900, U.S. President William McKinley signed the Hawaii Organic Act, which made Hawaii a territory of the United States. So there, try and take it from us. I guess. 1926, Bessie Coleman, the first American woman to obtain an international pilot's license from the Federation of Aeronautique Internationale. Another
Nice.
plane crash death. Died after her plane crashed during a rehearsal, her aerial show. So Casey Jones died in a train wreck. And our first American woman to obtain a pilot's license, Bessie Coleman, was also black. They don't mention that either. Died in a plane crash in 1926. Planes were really in their infancy, of course. 1933, we apparently the Britannica told us it was Willie Nelson's birthday yesterday. I think it's his birthday today also. Remember that yesterday we said Willie Nelson's birthday, April 29th? Apparently, and I'll go back. I mean, do you remember yesterday's show? Anywho, maybe he was born at midnight. I don't know. 1933, songwriter, guitarist Willie Nelson was born in Abbott, Texas.
2 birthdays. That's fine.
Let's smoke a bowl for Willie. Smoke a bowl for Willie again. It never stops me before 20. Again, Willie does not go around advocating for weed, and he doesn't like stay wasted all the time. Sure, he's just like wants to chill for a while. He goes and smokes a joint, and he's 93. You tell me it's killing him. Go ahead. 1939, the National Broadcasting Company made the first public television broadcast in the United States in New York World's Fair. Yo, cool. The NBC. The birth of NBC when it was only an independent experimental company. 1945, Hitler killed himself as Soviet troops were advancing in his underground bunker, Berlin. At the Battle of Berlin, and it was drawing to a close. Eva Braun, whom he had married a day earlier, also died. Don't forget they poisoned their children. Like, oh yeah, you had this coming. Why did you even have children, Hitler? Anyway, 1975, the South Vietnamese capital of Saigon fell to the North Vietnamese troops during the Battle of Vietnam War. During the Vietnam War, the final battle, the Battle of Saigon, as we abandoned the Vietnamese and the Cambodians and basically everybody. At their stupid little conflict, we decided it was fun for about 10 minutes. Another stupid war we got involved in ended as a catastrophe on this day in 1975. 1989, Italian director Sergio Leone only made to 60. Holy Lord. He died at the age of 60 on this day. He's the guy that made the spaghetti westerns, the trilogy, the dollar trilogy, you know, The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, Hang 'em High, For Another Dollar More. I think there's more to the trilogy, if you ask me. But I think there's a couple more that Clint Eastwood are in that I guess aren't part of the trilogy. The blonde guy that never has a name, that guy. 2013, William Alexander became king of the Netherlands after his mother, Queen Beatrix, abdicated. She had ascended to the throne 33 years earlier. Just to remind you again, you have a king, Mr. Special Guy. When he farts, it smells like roses. And everybody goes, oh, Your Majesty pulled off another rose-smelling fart. Just making fun of royalty. Royalty's full of shit. Our featured event in 1789. George Washington is inaugurated. George Washington, the first president of the United States, was inaugurated on this day. We don't have a king. Damn it. On this day in and so while the Netherlands was celebrating their king coronation, the day the king was coronated in 2013, we were celebrating not having a king. Because George was inaugurated, the first president of the United States, Federal Hall, New York City, in front of crowds of hundreds of people. Bigger crowd than Trump attracted, by far. Our featured biography, let's get to it. Edouard Manet, French painter. I was born January, the day he died, April 30th, 1883, age 51, in Paris. He was born in Paris, January 23rd, 1832. Other birthdays today. Besides being Willie Nelson's second birthday, it's 1777 was the birthday of Carl Friedrich Gauss, German mathematician. 1946, the King of Sweden. They got a king too, Carl XVI, Gustav, King of Sweden. 1956 is the birthday of Danish filmmaker Lars von Trier. He only makes films about Danishes. And
true, but he's very famous.
That's his nationality. I want to watch a Danish film. I want to watch a donut film. Can I watch a donut film? 1959, Stephen Harper, Prime Minister of Canada, was born, and Isaiah Thomas, American basketball player, born 1961. Part of the greatest generation, as you say. That generation needs another shot at the White House. As Obama, no controversies, just did his job. Whether you liked him or not, he did his job. Okay, our National Day calendar. National Bugs Bunny Day. I can't do a Bugs Bunny, but I can do Elmer Fudd, who's always hunting him. Whoa, it's a wabbit day. Why does a wabbit get a day? Oh, I'm so angry. National Sarcoidosis Day, and it's got a purple ribbon. So a purple shirt? For me? Purple ribbon. He's wearing a purple ribbon on a Labrador shirt. I don't know what I almost said sarcophagus day, but that's like a tomb. National Oatmeal Cookie Day. Love me some oatmeal cookies. Put raisins in it, though. Put raisins, put chocolate in it, put everything in it. National Honesty Day. Honestly, I could eat a bunch of cookies. And National Preparathon Day. Preparathon? What are we preparathon? We're preparing for camping. We're preparing for the hurricane. We're preparing for summer and the power outages that come with it. And if you're letting the Texas grid, you probably just have some poor situation set up where you milk all the power for one city and everybody loses it for the data center. So be prepared for your power blackouts, as they're just going to give all your power to the data centers at discounted rates and charge you through the nose. Let's be ready. And it's National Adopt a Shelter Pet Day. Hey, of course. What other pet would you adopt? And National Bubble Tea Day. I know you love bubble tea. National Hairstylist Appreciation Day. Holy crap, it's a lot of things today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's, oh my goodness, it's more. I left some of them off. Hold on, I got to click on that link.
Oh dear. All the things.
Another page. Oh yes, it says 11, so I missed 3. National Military Brats Day. You're kind of qualified for that because you went where my stupid military job sent me, right? You weren't raised in one place. You qualify. You weren't raised in one place.
Yeah, I definitely had the worst 8th birthday ever. I remember. That's something military brats experience. Nobody to celebrate my birthday, so we just went to we went to the museum. That was nice, Zoo. Right? But a lot of kids like to have friends. I had friends and I had 0 friends. That's the sad part about being a military brat in a way.
There was an odd sort of symmetry to that because the odd sort of symmetry was on Robin's first birthday. We took her to the. She legitimately had no friends. You're a baby, you got no friends. Even if you have friends, you barely know it. Anyway, we took her to San Diego Zoo. She'll never remember it. She slept through the whole thing. Of course, we took Melanie to the zoo, and she fell asleep for most of it. She was in a stroller the whole time. Anyhow, that's the fun little story from Military Brats Day. It's also National Raisin Day. Coincides with Oatmeal Cookie Day. No coincidence. So that's all your days. I think it's all your days on. Oh my God, all the haikus and the lists and everything for April 30th, 2026 on Before Oatmeal Cookies with Raisins. The only way to have them.
Nice.
And bubble tea. Don't forget bubble tea.
Oh, I love bubble tea. Have you ever had bubble tea? It's so good.
Well, yeah, Melanie buys it all the time.
I don't know because there's different, depends on where you go, because a lot of times they don't have the tapioca. I really love tapioca. I remember Mom used to get tapioca pudding. I used to love eating tapioca pudding.
I think they even sold it at that yogurt store she worked at for a while.
You worked at a yogurt store? Oh, wait, you mean like the one, the same one that Naomi worked at. I think that's the same one Naomi worked at. Who worked at a yogurt store too. Frozen yogurt place.
It's right next to, you remember, what are they called? I can't think of them now. They make Rex sandwiches. It's right next to that sandwich place that makes, I can't think of it. I want to say Pork Barrel or something.
pork barrel
Anyway,
sandwich.
they
I mean,
make
it doesn't
really
matter
me-
because I don't
they
know
make
if that
really
place existed
messy
when I moved
sandwiches.
away.
They
So
make a sandwich called a wreck, and I always get it at the airport in Baltimore.
really, it's
just
called
got
a wreck.
everything. It's called a wreck.
Oh,
A wreck with everything, and just roll up your sleeves because it's gonna be dripping off your elbows.
really?
One of
Well,
those.
that's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
And then you get an airplane. Yeah.
and then you get on an airplane.
So
and
your
then
haiku.
My first
haiku is-
haiku is about the first president, I guess. In the halls of hope, first president takes a stand, a nation's new pulse. Because that is what he was. He was the first leader of a new country. One of the first ever Democrat. I mean, you can give credit for the U.S. for being one of the first countries built on democracy. In shadows he speaks, Lars
Also
weaves
the
dark
next
tales
president.
of anguish. Truth in pain revealed is a lot of
Right on.
emotionally based things. Yeah. Emotionally based things. I've definitely seen his films, but I can't think of anyone right now. I can't think of a film that I've seen by him right now.
Oh,
I might actually just say it on the
Sergio
here.
Leone.
no, Lars von Trier. Dogma.
Oh, okay.
No, not Dogma. No, Epidemic, Europa. He's been making films for a long time. I thought I saw a film
Okay.
by him, but I guess not. Oh, Melancholia. That's a great film. It's about Melancholia is a film about what if a giant planet smashed into Earth. But the whole idea is for like years the scientists say, "Oh, it's gonna miss us." But then one scientist does the calculations and they see it's gonna orbit and then smash into us. So it's gonna miss. It was gonna miss the planet and then smash in. And it's basically about this woman who's. It has like a family drama in the middle, but that's the kind of premise. It's about a planet smashing straight into the Earth. So yeah,
And we
very
gotta
dark.
rescue the family dog. All of civilization
Shelters,
is
hearts
dead.
await. Silent cries in empty rooms, and love blooms. Homes transform when you adopt a pet. For my last haiku.
Okay, I thought you were done with the haikus, so I closed the soundboard. All right.
It's
All
easy to
right.
open.
It wasn't actually closed. I just put some milk over it.
Yeah, you can. It's just
Okay.
minimized a little bit.
Yeah, it's just replaced on my
For
screen.
our
More memory.
international UN observances, we have continued the
Wow.
final day of World Immunization Week. That's right, be immune to diseases so we don't spread it around. And get your jazz cigarettes out because it's International Jazz Day. That's right. Sit down,
All right.
listen to a drummer
I'm
play
ready.
things in an unsyncopated beat, some horns,
Huh?
and you know, a bass is going.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Standing bass,
And if
even
you're
right.
in the United States- If you're in the United
Jazz.
States, just find yourself a PBS channel. Find yourself a
Exactly.
national- They play jazz all the
Stuck
time.
in elevator.
They love jazz. No
For over a
words.
century, Chicago has been a jazz mecca. As early as the 1920s, jazz musicians sailed up the Mississippi from New Orleans and found the city to be a creative hub. Jazz legends such as Louis Armstrong, King Oliver, Jelly Roll Morton made their names in the city, developing the Chicago style of jazz. To celebrate jazz, go to Chicago and go listen to some jazz. And
Don't forget
that's
Bleeding
it for
Gums
today.
Murphy. Bleeding Gums Murphy.
Exactly.
Bleeding Gums Murphy, the great saxophonist.
We will see you.
The
This has been
Simpsons
Alton here from the Netherlands, Roger from the East Coast of the U.S. As we finish off another Thursday's 13, we will see you tomorrow
Oh, wow.
for Friday to welcome in the weekend with some news so that you don't need to worry about the news of the weekend. You have a nice, gentle time of not doom scrolling. So don't forget to subscribe to the BeforeCoffee channel on YouTube, BeforeCoffee podcast channel, so that we can get more subscribers on there, push ourselves onto the podcast arena. And thank you everyone who's already following and subscribed. Don't forget to turn that notification on so you know and you get notified when we go live and post a video. And thank you to all our BeforeCoffee supporters on Patreon. Here is our smack down mic drop moment.
Yeah.
So
We can actually have a pun off. Let's have a pun off during the video.
I don't know if I can.
Right into the net. This is at 60 yards, by the way. 60 yards is an astronomical number. It's good.
Do you hear how he smacks that ball, that pigskin?
No shit.
Got under it.
That's 3 kicks. That's
Still
Trey kicks.
2 sponsorship.
Wait, one. That one's going. This is just basically a camp. This is a kicking
he just
camp
he looks like it's the easiest thing he's ever done. Look at him walk off all casual, like, yeah, just another one.
Good job.
That's a high school kid, by the way. This is before he was in college. This is in Maryland, I believe.
So he's probably only gotten better.
He's
really? Oh, yeah,
Maryland.
you said he was in Maryland. Yeah, you said that before.
Yeah, he was Severn, Maryland. So probably this might be. That's probably just a local small college. They're always working.
Yeah, I've never heard of that
summertime.
college myself.
What's that?
The college you mentioned.
College.
I've never heard of it.
Florida? It's a pretty big state. They
No,
have
you
colleges.
said Maryland.
You mean
Oh,
what
you saying this is high school?
He's from a city in Maryland, Severn.
Oh,
Maryland.
okay.
Not a college.
I've never been there.
He went to.
I probably passed it, but
Sure
I've
you
never been
have.
there. No, I've never physically been there and been
You've
like,
been.
hey, let's look around town for
You know what?
kickers.
No, actually, yeah, I'm just saying you may have been there, you may not have, but you didn't realize it because the interstate goes through a lot of towns. You just don't realize you're in them. Right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but you don't stop there,
I've
right?
seen
You
it
don't
on-
know,
I've
like,
seen
oh
it on
yeah, I've
signs.
been to the Red Robin in that city, and I've never done that. You know, that's all I'm saying.
Stop for gas everywhere. Whatever. I just know I've been there. It's on Eastern Shore, so it's on the other side of the bay.
I mean, he can kick. I guess he's not trying to
yeah,
kick
so
into the
you
goal.
probably
He's just
remember
trying to kick to a person. Yeah, okay.
He's
That was-
punting
that one
now.
was better.
That's punting. That's just a.
Oh, that's
That's
yeah,
another
right. To
function of
send the
playing.
ball to
That's
the
another
other
function of
ball.
playing football, right? Don't forget,
Yeah,
he's
I
a
know.
high school kid, and these are college scouts at a kicking camp. Looking, do we want this kid? And Florida said, "Hell yeah, we want this kid. Can he
What
punt?
What if he
Let's
does
see." Now he's
leg
punting.
work for the other leg?
Head on
Nice
down,
fucking
please.
punt, by the way. I'm sure the overinflated ball.
Kicking, punting,
The opposite of Tom
snapping.
Brady.
That's all what they're
We
all
just
about.
want him to hit that.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.